Dalovina guia dolosana anche totale takini ana warong ng Bula FM e Golden Point Resort basendo nambando ana here binaka.
Bula binaka na dang kotevita utunggoy 90 ang totali takawali warong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Na dang ko makilesi werkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Hello nga ratu kitchen ng Batambo ando talita na warong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Tonight, rebuilding in Ra village declared ground zero begins. Plans to pay lease money for farmers affected by TC Winston. And damage assessment in the Central Division completed. Well, 4 weeks after the devastation of tropical cyclone Winston, a village that was declared ground zero in the Ra province is starting to rebuild, thanks to the help of a good Samaritan all the way from Korea. Grace Roads Group, a Korean-owned local-based company, has been at the forefront of building 24 new homes for the villagers of Naodombao in Nakorotumbu, Ra. Madiun Boletamana was in Ra this week and files this story.
The villagers here in Naodombao believe that the timely intervention provided by the Grace Roads Group to rebuild from the remnants of tropical cyclone Winston is a godsend.
If you walk about in the village greens, you will see smiles all around. Everyone is happy, even though the cyclone has just passed us. What these Koreans have brought to us is hope. A total of 24 homes will be built. 26 homes was destroyed by Winston, but government has assured us that 2 will be built by them.
Since the arrival of the group and their intentions to help out, Tao says the villagers have committed all men, young and old, to the project.
The younger men are helping out in the building project, while the older men are involved in the cleanup around the village. There is a lot of debris that needs to be cleared, and that is what we want to get out of the way as the project rolls out.
Apart from helping out in the rebuilding and cleanup project, Tao says the young men are also part of a root crop and vegetable replanting program to ensure that they are back on their feet in the coming months.
The
young men target 2 families a morning to replant root crops like cassava, sweet potato, vegetables and other fast turnaround crops. This is what they've been doing for the past few days, and this will continue so that we are not relying on government for food in the coming months.
With the completion of their project here in Naodombao, Grace Group say they will continue with their rehabilitation process in other villages in the Ra province. Madiun Boletamana, FBC News.
There are plans in place by the government to pay lease for farmers who have been badly affected by tropical cyclone Winston. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama revealed this during his visit to the Nambombudo District School in the highlands of Neta Siri earlier this week. Ali Kimbia has more.
In an effort to rejuvenate the agriculture industry after Cyclone Winston, government has decided to assist farmers in paying their lease money for 3 months.
The Itoke Land Trust Board and Ministry of Lands are working on this plan. Those who are leasing land will not pay their lease for 3 months or maybe more, as this will be paid by the government to the landowners.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says they will also waive fees for farmers who sell their produce at various municipal markets.
Those who sell their produce in the market, we want to waive the market fees paid to various municipal councils in all towns, only except for Lambasa town because they are not affected by tropical cyclone Winston.
With the extensive damage suffered by the agriculture sector, the government will ensure that farmers get all the assistance they require to get back on track. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
24 youths from rural and maritime areas will leave for New Zealand on Monday to work under the Seasonal Employer Scheme. This latest development is the result of partnerships between the Employment Ministry, the National Employment Centre and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. These youths have to undergo a training program as well as a separate pre-departure training to qualify for selection. Youth Minister Lesenia Tuitumbo, while presenting certificates, highlighted that his ministry supports the program as it directly provides income for young Fijians.
I have been told that there are candidates amongst us, or among you this afternoon, totally lost his own way. So some of you have also been affected by the recent disaster, as we witness. This opportunity could have come out at a better time.
The minister urged the youth to maintain professionalism and complete the program successfully so that more youths can be selected in the future. Well, damage assessment has been completed in the Neitāsiri province in the Central Division. This has been confirmed by Commissioner Central Setareki Tale, who says 2 villages within the province have been badly affected. Akasita Tale tells us more.
The 2 districts that have been severely affected in the Neitāsiri province are Nangone-Nidholo and Nambombudho.
And that is where we are concentrating our efforts in terms of rationing and in terms of provision of shelter and water. That we have been doing the last couple of days. We have covered all of the areas that we had wanted to cover in the first wave of rations, and we are now beginning with the second wave of rationing to these areas.
Close to 500 houses have been partially damaged and about the same number of houses have been completely destroyed in the Central Division.
Within the Central Division, the worst affected areas are, one of them is Neitāsiri, and we have North Televu North, especially in Dausamu and Namena, and the Wainibuka area as well as, the impact of TC winter is visible as well.
All schools in the division have been cleared and evacuees have returned to their homes. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
A man in his 40s is in police custody after he allegedly stabbed his daughter and wife with a cane knife in Siberia, Lambasa last night. Divisional Police Commander North SSP Shri Bhawan Singh told the FBC News his 17-year-old daughter sustained injuries on her head while the wife on her arm. He says the alleged incident took place when the suspect came home drunk and an argument broke out, after which the daughter called the police. SSP Singh says the suspect reacted when he saw the police, and upon arrest he also allegedly punched a police officer on duty. The wife and daughter are admitted in the Lambasa hospital and the investigation continues. Now, the Consumer Council of Fiji has received reports of price gouging from customers in Lambasa, Suva and Lautoka. Chief Executive Premila Kumar confirms many farmers are complaining about the increase in the price of mill mix. Kumar says they have identified these traders and action will be taken against them.
Previously they were paying $12.95 and now the price of mill mix ranges from $16 to $25 a bag, and a bag has about 35 kg of mill mix. So obviously it was a concern for the council, because what we have seen after the cyclone, the price of almost everything has gone up.
Well, Kumar says they have written to the Fiji Commerce Commission for further investigation and will continue with their price survey of goods and services. Still to come on FBC News, the search for Miss World Fiji begins.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rakiriki Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marita Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back to FBC News. The government is working on a plan to assist those that have had their houses partially or completely damaged by Tropical Cyclone Winston. This was confirmed by National Disaster Management Office Director Akapusi Tuifangalele. Farzana Nisha has more.
Taking shelter in halls and tents, preliminary assessment shows that 24,904 dwellings have been damaged around the country.
That is 9,153 destroyed, and 15,771 damaged and can be repaired. We have not put a cost tag into that, Actually, the government team will be working on that this weekend, and hopefully something will come up next week, and we should be able to provide you some figures.
Tuifangalele says they will only be able to determine the cost of rebuilding once full assessments are completed.
For the housing side of it, government is actually working out what needs to be done, and there is a committee has already been set up to look into that.
Government officials continue to work around the clock to help restore normalcy to people's lives and the economy. The number of evacuation centers around the country has decreased to 320, with 10,098 evacuees. Farzana Nisha, FBC News.
More than 300 families between Virata village and Kasavu in Tailevu can expect improved road conditions. Fulton Hogan Highways is rehabilitating the 3.5-kilometer stretch of the Kings Road that has minimal work on it over the years. Operations Manager Phil Tom says there were a lot of deep potholes and consistent failures of the tar-sealed edges made the road narrow. Some parts of the road are undercut because of poor subgrade, and subsoils will be added to cut off water that migrates onto the pavement. It will then be backfilled with new metal. Road users are being urged to be patient as traffic control plays an important role during road rehabilitation. The Ministry of Health is addressing emotional and psychological trauma afflicting people in cyclone-ravaged communities. Health Minister Chone Usamate says they've brought in experts to counsel victims. Kelly Vadala has the details.
Tropical Cyclone Winston not only destroyed homes and infrastructure, but has also left people mentally and emotionally drained. Health Minister Chone Usamate says teams on the ground are providing support.
We've also set up a cluster group. We've brought in people from the ministry, from World Health Organization, from FNU. They're looking at developing a program that will deal with everybody that has been affected. That program has been rolled out now and people are already on the ground. So we have people like Red Cross, Ministry of Health, already visiting communities and providing the counseling that they need. And of course, if they find very serious cases, they can then be referred to specialists who can deal with it.
This goes hand in hand with the ministry's plan to ensure that cyclone victims have proper access to safe drinking water and sanitation.
To make sure that all of the centers, the evacuation centers, the villages are visited, their toilets are looked at. We look at cleaning them up, and where they need to be sprayed, disinfected, and where mosquitoes need to be treated, that those things are happening. If we're able to do that well, we'll be able to minimize the things like typhoid and all of those other things that are happening with possible dengue and so forth. So that's our focus right now.
Opening a new dialysis unit at CWM Hospital in Suva, the minister pointed out that there is also a risk of kidney diseases following the cyclone.
Winston, this facility is particularly important so that we are prepared for any increases in acute kidney injury from infection that can follow such events, such as dengue, typhoid or leptospirosis.
Fiji is the first country to celebrate World Kidney Day, and the Ministry of Health is advising the public, especially children, to take proper care of their health. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The search for the 2016 Miss World Fiji has begun. The first round of casting was held at the Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva today, where girls from throughout the country turned up to impress the judges. Miss World Fiji director Andy Blake says the casting today was a huge success, as contestants that took part have great potential. Blake says another round of casting will be held next Saturday at the Broadcasting House in Suva before the top 10 finalists will be selected.
For the contestant that we normally select to represent the country has to embody, the essence of Miss World, and majority of that is the qualities that defines beauty with a purpose. It's someone that can go out not only to raise funds for charity, but to also become an ambassador for Miss World.
Miss World Fiji 2016 will take place on the 16th of next month at GPH in Suva, and the successful candidate will represent Fiji to the 66th Miss World competition later in the year. Well, Digicel Fiji has launched two new sleek additions to the Samsung Galaxy flagship, Samsung Galaxy S7 and Galaxy S7 Edge. Digicel Chief Executive Darren McLean says the phone is full of new features and will serve many other purposes apart from calls, texting and social media apps.
They have this available in the stores. This is available in the stores now.
Meanwhile, Vodafone Fiji has also started retailing the new Samsung S7 and sold its first piece to a customer in Suva yesterday.
Just amazed when I read about this phone in the papers. Just came and have a look of it, and I thought it is a big advantage for me. This is for my business phone. So great to the Vodafone that I purchased with them today.
The new Galaxy Samsung 7 has new significant hardware and software updates. And Fiji football coach Frank Farina commends players' development. Details coming up.
मैं हूं रेहान खान कुरबो तालेबू के जैसे फेस्टिवल एग्रेट है कुरबो में उसी तरह मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है कुरबो में
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
हम नकाशी से साइमान है हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है
माय नेम इज दिनेश हम नैंडी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जायंट जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लाइक इट मिर्ची एफएम
Welcome to FBC Sports. Injury and illness has forced Vatemo Ravovo and Amenoni Nasilasila out of the Vodafone Fiji 7 squad for the Vancouver Sevens from tomorrow. The pair failed to recover in time, opening the door for Emosi Mulevoro and Savaluni Modenadangi to be selected into the final 12-member squad. Chalendo Dakadaka reports.
The absence of Fiji's 7 key players, Vatemo Ravovo and Amenoni Nasilasila, will not deter Ben Ryan's men in Vancouver this weekend. After a starring role in the Las Vegas final last week by scoring 2 tries, Kitione Talinga is expected to get more game time under his belt.
Lovely running again for Kitione Talinga.
He's obviously potentially with the injury to Vatimo Ravuvu could be stepping up as a starter this weekend, and he's got to be good on both sides of the ball in attack and defence. But no harm in testing out the squad at this point in the season and giving a run to 1 or 2 other people. So I think it's only going to be a fantastic environment and pitch for all the teams.
Well, now the New Zealand Sevens team is looking for an improved outing in the Vancouver Sevens. Captain Tim Mickelson says the players are in good spirits and will be pushing for a better finish than the plate title win in Las Vegas last week. The Vancouver Sevens kicks off tomorrow and you can watch it live on Fbctv. Vodafone Fiji football coach Frank Farina has seen a vast improvement in the players that featured in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup last year. Farina is excited about the opportunities that lies ahead for Fiji football once these players hit their peak form over the next couple of years. Chalindao Dakadaka tells us more.
Players in the Fiji Under-23 and senior men's sides are currently in camp for upcoming international duties later in the year, the most prominent being the Under-23 team's preparation for the Rio Olympics. Speaking on Fbctv Sports Lounge last night, Coach Frank Farina says there has been a rapid growth in their development.
That Under-20 side will be the nucleus of the national team, most probably for the next 8 to 12 years. So, you know, the development in these players I've seen just in a year has been really, really good, and you know, you salivate to think if, you know, after 4 years where they're going to be then, you know, as long as they all stay on the right track in terms of football.
Players like Chalen Reloa, Nicol Chand and Sola Wanga were part of the Fiji Under-23 side to the Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea last year, where they secured a historic spot for the Rio Olympics in August, opening up the door for more overseas exposure.
We could have played New Caledonia, we could have played Papua New Guinea, we could have played the Brazilian Under-23s even, but with the process we're going through now with the Under-23s, we've got scheduled a tour to Brazil in April, you know, a 4-game tour to Brazil over 10 days. That's not confirmed yet, but we're sort of quite a way down the track, and that again would be a great experience in terms of preparation for the Rio Olympics.
Things seem to be falling into place for our national footballers, especially those who have been in Farina's scope since last year. Now the players hope to remain in Farina's favour for another historic journey, this time donning the Fiji jumper at the Olympics. Tsalendo Takadaka, FBC Sports.
Samoa A hammered Tonga A 15-0 in their second-round clash of the World Rugby Pacific Challenge in Suva today. Playing in front of a full-capacity grandstand at the ANZ Stadium, the Samoans piled on 7 unanswered tries to try and cancel out the team's opening round loss to Junior Japan earlier this week. And the Telecom Fiji Warriors is currently taking on Junior Japan in the second match of the day. Well, Athletics Fiji is ready to host the Melanesian Games in July. The sporting body says local athletes have been training hard, and those wanting to qualify for the regional meet will have to prove themselves to the 2 Grand Prix qualifiers next month.
So you'd have the best in the Oceania region coming to the Melanesian game. And we in Fiji, we are preparing for that. And also at the same time, this is our last opportunity for any of the athletes to qualify for the Olympic Games.
The first Grand Prix event will be held at the ANZ Stadium on April 9th. Fine weather prevailed throughout the country today. Mombasa recorded the highest temperature at 34 degrees. Suva and Ba were on 32, Nandi on 31 and Suva the lowest on 30 degrees. Now, as for tomorrow's forecast, it's for some showers over most parts of the country. And the outlook for Monday, expect much of the same weather, cloudy periods with brief showers, moderate seas are expected. Recapping our headlines. Rebuilding in a village that was declared ground zero in the Ra province has begun with the help of a Good Samaritan from Korea. There are plans in place by the government to pay lease for farmers affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston. And 24 youths will leave for New Zealand on Monday to work under the Seasonal Employer Scheme. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM, and we go on to our weekly poll question. This week we ask, will Fiji bounce back from TC Winston? To answer, visit our FBC website. Well, you can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, citizens@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News, or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good night.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka, and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Mulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.